Hey, welcome back, YouTubers, to another hashtag, not a review, not an unboxing, but a table build update, the new table that is in the works. So, those of you that follow my Facebook group and my posts on Facebook that go into the Flames of War, Wargaming group, and Terrain group, and Team Yankee will have seen quite recently I posted a blueprint of the Desert Canyon table, a build that I've been wanting to do for a while. With the recent big table build that I did on my channel with that is the D-Day bolt action table, that was sort of I wouldn't call it a milestone, but it was something I'd been wanting to build for a long time, and I got it done and I ticked it off. So now the next big table build in 15 millimeter, so Flames of War scale, for those of you that work in different measurements or just use different scale terms, it is 1 to 100. I've been wanting to do a Desert Canyon table for a while, and this is the rough construction. I know it doesn't look like much now, but once the filler's on and the texture, it will start looking a bit more sloped and a bit more like a small desert pass. The inspiration for this table came from two sources. One, Kasserine Pass in the Second World War. My reason for choosing desert as well is because within my wargaming group, there are two very popular themes, gaming themes and scenarios that are being done right now, particularly in my group, and they are covering mainly the Italian campaign of World War II and the desert. Normandy and the western part of Europe and Eastern Front is up there as well, but right now the two main talked about ones are desert and Italy. So again, the theme came from Kasserine Pass. I've been doing a lot of research on it. I've been struggling to get some actual photos and aerial photos of the battlefield. It wasn't a pass in a sense of a very mountainous pass. It was slightly hilled on both sides and then a road down the middle. I'm still busy with the raw build of this. That's why it looks like the way it does. More foam is probably going to be added. I had an idea to make this a full-on canyon where the foam walls on each side will come up to about here and like there and then drop down. My problem with that particular build is not necessarily the build itself, it can easily be done, was space. The tables I build have to be taken to another room where I do my gaming, and they've got to fit through a very narrow door. So luckily I didn't go any higher with the D-Day build, which was 6 layers of foam, and that just fitted through the door. So I can't really go any higher, and because this is mainly going to be a 15mm table, I mean, by looking at the scale of the tanks and the height of that wall over there, it looks big enough. As I said, I can easily get more foam and make it a bit, maybe that side a bit higher. But once the filler and the detailing, and I'm going to add some stones. I've got some stones in the garden that I've got in different sectors of this board. Once that's done and you see models on it with some brush and some of that desert bush and maybe a ruined building or two, maybe that side, and probably some palm trees. The particular Battle of the Kasserine Pass was very desolate. It was just sand and a few rocks. There was no plant life at all. And then I got a friend of mine to 3D print these little bunkers for 15mm, which can go anywhere on the table. Might be tempted to take the other one like this and actually dig it into one of the hills, but I'll see, because this table in a way could still be used for 28mm. But anyways, enough with the boring facts. So this is part one of the build, guys, and as I said, it is very rough and there's a lot of dips and ditches, but once the filler's on, it'll start looking a bit more. But I don't know when I'm going to start the filler process, because I still have to sand these down, make them a bit flatter, so when the plaster goes on, there will be enough heels, for example, for the tanks, and that if they should do a climb, they're not going to sit like that. They'd rather sit sort of like that. But the idea of this board is to make this completely impassable. Same with that. There's going to be a bit of a back, not a trench, sort of a path around the back of this mountain here, for infantry, but tanks and vehicles will have to use the main strip going through here, there, or here. And then obviously if you've got artillery units, they can sit all along here, here. So I'm going to need sandbags. I don't know if I'm going to make them, or I'm going to try my best to get my hands on terrain for this particular scale. As you can see over here, I've already been carving out some of the land pieces because I've been recycling a bit of foam, and some of it I've had to buy. As I said, the unfortunate thing was I wanted to get bigger blocks for the center pieces to make them higher, but I can always add more foam pieces. But this is part 1, guys, of the 15mm North African Kasserine pass table. As I said, judging by the scale, I don't know if I need to go higher, but you guys can let me know down in the comments. Feel free to comment and give me your tips and criticize if needed. And then the nice thing about this table, because it's going to be plain desert, you could potentially play Team Yankee on here, no problem at all. So whether it's World War II or Team Yankee, not a problem. And then I'll give it a test for bolt action. I think if bolt action is to be played on here, or the Napoleonic era, you're going to have to do very small point armies. But as I said, guys, this is primarily for 15mm. So that is all about I can say for now. The next build update I'll probably do after I've done a bit more progress, whether I've gotten higher, started fillering some of the places down. But I'm really excited because it's a desert table. It's not going to require as much material as the D-Day build did, but I might get a few more bunkers 3D printed. There is a very large bunker that I've got my eye on. And it's more of an Atlantic wall bunker, but as an objective, it could work. But as I said, this is going to be Flames of War orientated. I know at some point I'm going to get into Flames of War hectically, either the Italians or the Germans. But this should work. I'm keeping in mind the important factor of it needs to be playable, and your units need to have areas where they can sit, and that patch over there will be quite good for artillery. The tanks can go up and down here, and infantry can skirt its way around the back here and then maybe hop over there. So as I said, it doesn't look like much right now, but that is how far I've got. This is the first update of the desert board, and there will be more. So stay tuned for the next update on this build. And as always, keep leaving those likes, keep giving me giving those comments, and keep subscribing, and I will do my best to follow all your channels as said. So I will put all I need in the description, won't be too much for this particular build, but stay tuned for the next update. See you soon, guys.